So from what I've said so far, you can see that rebirth is an extremely important part of the Buddha's teaching. Not something you can just throw out and say, I can be a Buddhist without believing in rebirth. I can reject rebirth 100% as a stupid, non-scientific doctrine and still be a Buddhist. It doesn't quite work that way. You can still take on board some Buddhist principles, but if you throw away rebirth completely, you've thrown away such an important and essential part of Buddhism here that it is, you are, in a sense, in my opinion, a kind of partial Buddhist, not maybe 100% Buddhist. But I want to inquire a little bit further maybe on how important rebirth is in Buddhism. And the first thing I want to show is that because the Buddha actually realized rebirth, then rebirth for a Buddhist becomes a reality. It's something which actually is out there. It's not just a doctrine or an idea, it's a reality, just like gravity is a reality and the laws of physics are a reality. So rebirth is a reality. And because it is a reality, it means that there's something called a right view in Buddhism. Because it is a reality, if we are going to look at the world in the way the world actually is, then we are going to have to take on board the doctrine of rebirth. So right view in Buddhism, among other things, means to have some faith, some acceptance of the idea of rebirth. Without that acceptance, one does not really fulfill this thing called right view. So right view in Buddhism is nothing except the aligning of one's ideas, the straightening out of one's ideas in accordance with the reality of Buddhism, with the reality that the Buddha himself taught. That's all it really is. And this right view thing is actually very important. You may think, it might not be very obvious to you why right view is such an important matter, but right view is actually the very first factor on the Buddhist Eightfold Path. And of course, the Eightfold Path is the basic scheme in Buddhism for how one practices, how one starts off and practices all the way to full enlightenment. Right view is the beginning of that thing here. Because when you have right view, then it becomes natural that you want to practice a spiritual life.